Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations in studio, and we have two beautiful ladies with us this morning, and we're going to be talking about something very, very special. You know, on the island of Tobago, we embrace family, and we have something called family reunions. In fact, most families have their family reunion, and this morning we're speaking to the Tobago Moors as they prepare to celebrate their family reunion. And with me I have Mrs. Deborah Moore-Miggins and Miss Devonne Miggins. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of course, and I must put this out there. I am a Moor too. You know, and we are preparing to celebrate our family reunion here on the island of Tobago. And I just want to tell our viewers a little bit about who the Moors are and how we came to settle here on the island of Tobago.
Perhaps I'll take that one. The Moors originated in Barbados. I think many families, and first thank you for having us and good morning.
Good morning
to all listeners or viewers. Yes, they came from Barbados by boat in those days, you know, and it appeared that they landed at Charlottesville. Not it appeared, that's what the history says. There were three Moor brothers, and one we call, or we know him as Old Benjamin Moore. Another, history says, and you know, sometimes we're not very sure, but what we got handed down was that another was Simon Peter Moore, and a third was one called Lambo Moore, because apparently they didn't know his name too good. So Old Benjamin Moore stayed in Charlottesville. Simon Peter went to Palatavere, and Lambo Moore naturally came to Lambo. And out of these three clans, we call them, came all the Moors that we know. Most of them, I think all Moors in Tobago emanated from those three gentlemen. And of course, we married and so we don't anymore look at it as just a Moor situation or a Moor thing. We look at it with all the families that have interacted with us, married us, etc. So the Christmases are very well known as part of the Moor connection. The Allens in Charlottesville, the Samuel, there's a Mirella Samuel Moore. So whatever that brought to the table, we are now experiencing the death of one who married us to our cousins in Spring Garden, and we say morning to them, and we of course express our sympathies, and that's why we don't have another collection of Moore here, because everybody, I guess every Moore will be at that funeral today. Yeah. So those are the three strands that came together to bring the Moor to this stage where we are.
Right, and now we're preparing to celebrate a family reunion. In your opinion, why is it important to ensure that, especially the younger generation, because you were talking about the history and the fact that sometimes we don't always get the facts right, but we have some information that we could work on. Why is it important now to have this family reunion and to ensure the younger generation, they know where they come from?
Well, we've always had our reunion in a somewhat of an informal way. We started out in 2015.
Even before that.
Yeah, even before we used
Auntie Harriet.
Yes, we our matriarch line in the Lambo Moors, Harriet Moore. She was the one who really was, you know, she was like, I want my family around me, right? I want to know who my family is, who's my great niece, you know, going down the line. And so we started informally, and then we started to formalize this thing and realize that, you know, even though she said it's not a Moor thing, it's a Moor thing. You know, we realized that there were these three Moors that we all descended from. So we started out in, you know, maybe 2010, informal, and then started to formalize by 2015. Of course, we know what happened 5 years later. We tried to have it every 5 years. We know what happened in 2020. We were looking at the pandemic, and so we had to postpone. And we decided that this year we're coming back out with a bang in 2025. And I know you were there in 2015, and it we had a glorious time. And these Moors just love to reunite and see each other and hug each other and say, oh, look, your picnic girl so big, and them kind of things. So, you know, we really like to keep the family bonds tight, and also to know, right? To be able to say, look, Adanna, look, my cousin. Like I don't say, look, my cousin Adanna on TV, you know?
And even when the younger ones come up, like I tell my son, look your auntie, look your cousin, look at this, you know, so they kind of know who they are. They can connect with people. In fact, little children like when they go to school and they tell their friends, that is my cousin. This one is my cousin. Everybody is their cousin, you know, but for them to actually know who their relatives are. And I love this about the Moors. I know other families do it too, but I love it specifically about the Moors because I feel the embrace. I see people who I don't know and they are like, you're a Moor. And I'm like, how do you know this? I remember you from something. And they own you. One time, ownership one time. It doesn't matter if you're excelling. It doesn't matter if you're struggling. Once they realize that you are a Moor, they embrace you. And I love this about my family. I must boast I am a Moor also. You know, so we're talking about the calendar of events, but primarily today we want to focus on an occasion that is coming up this Saturday.
Well,
right?
This Saturday is, we can say, Lambo on show. We are having a grand soup sale, which we have commissioned from one of the best soup makers in Tobago. I ain't gonna call name because I think everybody knows who is the best. So just click into who you know as that best. And we're asking everybody to support us. We'll be at the food hub and we will be there serving from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Now, if you come after and there's still food, you're sure to get. But bear in mind what we're talking about is the famous, demanded cow heel soup.
That's right.
That is the one that
I'm ready for mine now.
And there's, of course, pigtail soup for those who love that. There is a corn soup for all vegetarians, and we have dasheen bush with pigtail. So nobody could say they're not catering to me or to my family. So we are starting at 8, as I said. The prices are basically $50, all except the corn soup, which is $40. And you know, last time we had a corn soup, soup sale, and the camaraderie that was there, I didn't expect that. People hung around the lime, and again the greeting, hey, how you do? You know you is family, but people buy tickets from you not knowing about the pumpkin vine that exists. And somebody else say, you ain't know you're more. Come on. It was really beautiful. And perhaps the whole of Tobago, if they come there Saturday, would find out the connections to the Moor. So we're looking forward to that. And we're asking Tobago to kindly support us so that we can bring off what would be, we think is going to be a grand reunion, and other families can start to, you know, big up their family as well, because as you rightly said, family is very important, very important.
Very, very, very important.
I would just like to add that the theme for this year is always room for more. So don't feel you're gonna come on to the soup sale and we ain't have room for more, right? And we know that your stomach also have room for more. So make sure you don't just get one ticket. 2, 3. Don't be stingy and keep the soup for yourself.
That's right, that's right.
You know, go home and carry home for your family.
And talking about tickets, how do we access tickets for the sale?
Anybody who is a Moor.
I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it.
I have tickets, a few remaining, so with mine you have to get in on me quick. Marjorie Moore Carrington has tickets. Pearline, not Pearline, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the Palatavere clan now. Morning, Pearline. Very hard-working. You know, we are divided into clans. Lambo clan, Palatavere clan, and Charlotteville. Each would have a day when the reunion starts, and I know you're going to ask me more about the timetable for the reunion. But as of right now, between Marjorie, myself, Devonne, you can contact us for tickets.
That's right, that's right. You know, you don't want to miss out on this soup sale. I could smell the soup from now and I could taste it. It's just that it's not getting into my stomach right now, but it will get there come Saturday, and you want to be a part of it. You see how beautiful the tickets look?
Yes.
Look at these tickets.
And
let
the
us
tickets
say-
are color coordinated according to the clans.
And we thank Shannon Moore of Spring Garden, always producing our tickets. Very hardworking young Moore, who is one of those who will really be leading the charge when this generation of
That's
old
right.
people move off.
I don't know about the old people part, but this generation. Right. So I want to talk a little bit more about the events that will be celebrated for the reunion this year.
Good.
Right. So we kick things off on July 20th. We have a meet and greet, a welcome, that, you know, just really we kind of easing into the thing, you know. We're not starting off with just reunion. First, we want to meet and greet and say, wait, where you was? So family coming from abroad, that is happening in Mount Pleasant at
Auntie Karen,
at the Nicholson residence, right? Then on the 21st, we have Charlottesville Day, where Charlottesville, you know, basically is heritage, their heritage. So people are welcome to, you know, go to that if they so choose. On the 22nd, though, is a free day where people can, you know, go to the beach, connect with other family members that they have in Tobago. On the 23rd, we have Charlottesville Reunion Day, and Charlottesville's color is yellow. Right? So they have their t-shirts in yellow. You'll notice that we're in green, but these are t-shirts from the last.
We don't want to lash out.
Yeah, we don't want to show we think just yet, right? Lambo more. So then on the 24th we have Palatavere, and Palatavere's color I believe is burgundy, right? And then Lambo more on the 25th is our day, and our color is orange, right?
That would be at the food hub.
That would be at the food hub, yes. So when Charlottesville and Palatavere Day, those are happening in those villages.
Right.
So and in Charlottesville and in Palatavere. And last time around, it was a beautiful sight to see all these Moors descend on Charlottesville, and we had a beautiful picture, you know, a beautiful panoramic picture of almost every Moor that could fit in the picture. And then we have the 26th, we have our reunion gala, which is where we dress up and, you know, formal wear, and we come out.
That's right.
You know, we come out. The 27th is our church service. The 28th is an education, campfire stories, and I believe the games night is on the 28th.
No, the 29th of the 27th.
Sorry, the night of the 27th. My apologies. So the church service, and then later in the evening is the games night. Right. And then on the 28th, we have our education series, and then on the 29th, we have farewell.
Two little areas. The education series on the 28th. In the evening is the bonfire.
Right.
And there we'll be telling stories, doing speech band, anything that.
And you know, these Moors, we have a little gift of storytelling. And if you all don't believe me, the two persons sitting on set right now, if you never hear a story through speech band, you ain't hear a story yet. Right? So it's all of that will be a part of what is happening.
But let me just plug for what we're doing at St. Patrick's Anglican Church. One of our ancestors from Lambo was known as Alexander Dormout Moore. And he was such a critical person at the St. Patrick's Church that where you have all the dignitaries buried up front, you have this humble, lowly piece of, and when you say grave, just a slab of concrete in between all the majestic and well-known Sir Geoffrey Knox and C.P. Roberts, who was my principal at Bonacourt. So he was recognized as important, but I guess the family didn't have anything to make him look as important. So we are refurbishing that slab and making him to look as what he's supposed. He was not a dormout because he used to sit at the church as the sexton. He ain't sitting nowhere else but at the front of the church, even in his home. So dormout. And we are going to have a ceremony commemorating his life and his legacy on the morning of the 27th, that Sunday morning. We're going to invite everybody who will come, have a little refreshments after. So I needed us to know that the more, and we want to do that throughout all the villages. Palatavere, if you have your Simon Peter, if you could find his grave, old Benjamin Moore, if you could find his descendants, and we want to do that as well. But the 27th would be the day for that.
You know, I'm tempted to ask, how much more can the Moors do? But we can do so much more.
There's always room for more.
You know, and you know, I really appreciate you ladies this morning, and I am looking forward to all the events leading up to our family reunion. And yes, I'm saying our family reunion. Might I remind you, I am a Moor. I am from the Lambo clan of Moors, and you know, when I see people around and they say hi cuz, even though you're not closely knitted, even if you're not first cousin, you're still cousin and you identify. I love it, and I will be seeing all of you guys at our family reunion. Come from the 20th of July all the way to the 29th.
Right.
But do not forget the
yeah.
soup sale this Saturday at the Food Hub from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can get your tickets from the committee members, Mrs. Deborah Moore-Miggins. Remind me of the names again, Miss Marjorie Moore.
Carrington.
Right. And also Devonne as well will have tickets. You can even contact me if you want to get your tickets, and I will make tickets available to you. But they're going fast.
Yes.
Because the soup tastes nice.
And from the best in
That's
the
right.
Tobago.
That's right. Not to omit that at all.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to see you guys there. Thank you so much for all the love that you give to us Moors. And of course, I must say a pleasant morning to all of the Moors far and wide. We love you very much. And you know, today we are celebrating the life of Viola Moore. We'll be there at the Moravian Church this morning as well to share more love as we usually do.
Good, thank you
of
very
course,
much.
A pleasure
You didn't
having
tell
you.
them we couldn't find you, and somebody said, but Adanna, bring shame.
Well, they let the cat out the bag this morning on air. So I, of course, will be very, very present. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversation in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us share the live. We'll be right back.